Hello, I'm Jo from Specialist Language Courses, and we are OET Premium Preparation Providers, here to help you with your OET exam. So in this video, we're going to look at the passive and how we can use it in OET writing. Now, the material in this video is taken from our online course, OET Preparation for Nurses, Writing. It's a MOOC recently released by SLC on the Udemy platform, and it's been specifically designed for nurses who want help with the OET writing test. So check it out after this video. So let's take a look at the passive. So first off, what is the passive? Check out these two sentences. We have the nurse on duty checked his vital signs and then administered his medication. Or number two, his vital signs were checked and then his medication was administered. So in which sentence are we more interested in the nurse, and in which sentence is the focus on the action? Well, sentence number one is more focused on the nurse and what they're doing, checking the vital signs, administering the medication. It's grammatically correct, but I think if we look at sentence number two, it's much more effective. Here, we're definitely focusing on what is happening to the patient. We're summarizing the action in a concise way, and this is what you need to do in the OET writing test. So we use passive to describe an event or an action when the person doing something is not the focus of the sentence. So we're looking more at the action. This is very useful for conciseness and clarity because we really want to focus the reader's attention on what is happening or what has happened in hospital, for example, rather than who did it. So, how do you form the passive? So the passive is simply formed using the verb to be and the past participle. Okay, and it's always the same. So we always use the verb to be, but if we want to perhaps put it in the past or the future, we change the verb to be. So here you've got a few examples of different tenses. Okay, so Ms. Jones has hypertension for which ramipril is prescribed. Here you can see the verb to be is in present simple, is, and the action verb is still in past participle form. This always stays the same, it never changes, okay? So we simply put the verb to be into present simple because it's something that's always true. This person has got this medication and they're taking it all the time. Let's take a look at the second example. Mr. Smith was admitted to the emergency department with severe lacerations to the left leg. Okay, so here we need to put it in past simple because it's a past action. Okay, so here we've changed the verb to be and we've put it in past simple, was. And again, the action verb is still in the past participle form. Let's look at the next one. She has been referred to the dietitian for advice on her diet. Here it's in present perfect, has been, because the patient has got the advice on her diet now and she's hopefully implementing it. So we use present perfect when we can see results in the current situation. And finally, he will be reviewed by the surgeon in 6 weeks' time. Is future, so we put the verb to be in the future form, will be. Okay, so do practice using the passive in lots of different tenses so that you're confident and prepared to use it when you come to the exam day. Time for a bit of practice. So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and have a go at completing these sentences using the verbs in brackets in the passive form. So really think about what tense you need to put it in. Okay, remember using the verb to be and the past participle of the verb. So pause the video now. Okay, let's take a look at the answers. So the first one, he was admitted to hospital on the 15th of December 2018. This is clearly needs to be in past simple, was admitted, because it's a finished time. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. She has been reviewed by the physiotherapist and has some exercises to do at home. Again, this should be in present perfect because it's a very recent action, and the patient has the exercises on a piece of paper that she needs to practice now. Number 3, he is ready to be discharged but will require further care at home. Here we need to use to infinitive because we say he is ready, and after ready we use the to infinitive form. So it's to be in infinitive and then the past participle of the verb discharge. And then finally, her staples will be removed, future, or need to be removed, using the modal need to, in 2 weeks' time. So when can you use passive in the OET exam? Well, in the OET exam, in writing, it's very important to use a clinical and factual style of language, and the passive can help you do this. So making sure that you are confident in using the structure is really going to help you with genre and style, and as I said before, with conciseness and clarity. So let's take a little look at some examples of how we can use this in writing. So here we have a couple of extracts from a set of OET case notes. So we've got dressings to burns, IV fluids then, or oral fluids. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video and write 1 or 2 sentences using passive to describe and expand these case notes. Don't forget, you'll need to think of a verb to use for the dressings and a verb to use for the fluids. Okay, so have a think about which verb you would use for that and then express it using the passive. So pause the video now. Right, let's take a look at the possible options for these case notes in expansion. So the most logical verb to use with dressings would be applied, and I think with the IV fluids, administer would be a good verb to use. So one example of how you could transform these would be dressings were applied to the burns and IV fluids were administered, followed by oral fluids. So as we can see here, we've expanded the case notes, we've added verbs, we've put it in the passive form, and the reader's attention is focused on the hospital treatment that the patient received. So top tips for passive, some things you can do in your study time would be look at OET sample letters. These are really a great resource for examples of passive sentences. Review common verbs used in the passive for medical procedures. So we've got be administered, be admitted to, be referred to, and make sure that you're confident in using them in a variety of contexts and also tenses. This is very important. Okay. Thanks for watching. And if you want help with your OET writing, including the passive and much, much more, just click the link in the description box below and enroll on our course. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and strategies for OET success. See you next time. Bye.